Hello, and welcome back to some more Tatarigoroshi. Um, Happy to be back. Just a notice, if you hear some sounds in the background while I'm talking, it's a really windy day, so you might hear my window rattle since I'm currently in a on the top of a condo building, top floor, well, 12 floors up. So so it can get pretty windy, and today is actually horribly windy. I was deciding if I should record or not, but I've been in a really recording mood. So well, I guess maybe not this week, but I guess in the near future you'll probably be seeing a bit more videos than usual instead of that once a week thing. I definitely want to record more, both Higurashi and the new series for World of Horror, because that's been pretty fun. But it's getting pretty. I mean, it's been good in Higurashi. I haven't been bored, but it's getting even more interesting because we left off at a pretty interesting part. So from the last session, we got the hints. We got a similar setup to Watanabe with somebody, presume they didn't confirm who, but presumably quote unquote Takano died in a mountain in an oil barrel, and Tomataki, as per usual, got his throat. He tore out his own throat and died on the street. So it's the same setup. I thought it might be. I might like there might not be a Takano one since they kind of set her up, but I guess we'll see as we continue. I've already talked last episode about my theories on how Takano could not be dead. Pretty much stemming from my Watanabe theories. And then we left off at a very interesting part um, where Keiichi comes back, thinks everything's trying to be nice, and then they start talking about him as he was, as if he was at the festival, referencing certain events from Anatakushi and Watanabe, specifically the game where they were shooting guns to win the big stuffed animal for Rena, and meeting Shion there, which are both like stemming from it. And my initial reaction kind of goes to the soft reset theory, which if you don't follow my theories, it's basically the idea that instead of a hard reset like in Umineko, where every time there's a game or an arc, the same like a whole new instance like separated from the other ones is created. While in mine, in the soft reset theory that I made anyways, I think that time actually passes and all the instances happen in the same sort of universe. Which again, I I forgot where I made that one. I think it probably was Watanabe, but it was like kind of in tandem with the idea when I was trying to solve the Sonozaki murder stuff, where I came up with the idea that, well, what if Mion used the corpse from Anutakushi and threw it down the hole to like act that she's dead, and then went and killed Shion and stabbed Keiichi. It's more of a like a meme thing, but it's been proving that it could be a reason. Because also another idea is why are these resets happening? We have like a clear idea in Umineko that some otherworldly beings are creating these realities, but there's no witch creating game boards in this, right? Or at least not that we know of. So it's more reasonable to assume that. So I mean, it's not more reasonable, but it's good to question why this is happening instead of just from my Umineko knowledge, assuming that these are different instances when they could just be some sort of passages in time. And I can't really expand on it. I will admit I don't know how it would happen. I don't know how much time was passed. I'm assuming not like a year passes every time, because then they would be a lot. They would be, well, they would be 3 years older than, or 2 years older than Anatakushi. But it's just an idea that's kind of been getting stronger, especially in this arc when it rained during the Watanagashi festival, and like if it was a hard reset universe, everything would be the same except for the character interactions. But the fact that even the weather changed kind of symbolizes that it's not the exact same time, and that was a pretty big hint. And in this one, when they're referencing stuff, well, there's two things that you can take out of this one. The one I thought of immediately is like it was about to go kind of crazy, like Tatarigoroshi crazy, where the characters kind of go into their spooky mode, and they're kind of like warning Keiichi. It's like, oh yeah, you remember when we did this in Tatarigoroshi? Remember when this happened in Watanagashi? And it was saying like, remember all these things that happened, even though this is like a different instance or whatever, which also kind of supports the soft theory. But then Keiichi gave his own idea, which is also pretty good, that like maybe it's not a hint to that, but more that maybe some sort of Keiichi person showed up at the festival, or maybe like something happened, but it's so hard to explain. All this weird meta nonsensical stuff. But like maybe Keiichi was supposed to be there, like that was his fate, but somehow he defied it. But like fate carried on anyways, so while he was like outside of the game, like another Keiichi was there. I don't know. It's just pretty interesting. I'm wondering if this is like, because when someone described this arc as depressing, scary, and then weird, maybe this is the confusing part, but I don't know. It kind of helps the soft reset theory, so I'm happy. So yeah, we just started that. Keiichi's brainstorming. We still haven't seen Satoko, so let's see how it continues from here. Oop. But who? Who was that? Well, everyone's been saying it, haven't they? Keiichi Maibara. I had an urge to yell in anger at my classmates for having so much fun talking about the festival yesterday with Keiichi Maibara. But there were differences from like the variants. Like instead in the Watanagashi one, since Keiichi actually goes with Shion, Mian described Keiichi ignoring Shion. So it's like it's all mixed up, all jumbled, and maybe it alludes to the idea that there is like one true story and each arc is just taking like pieces from the true story. So maybe the way they described the festival is actually how it was supposed to happen. Possibility. What the hell are you guys even talking about? Far stronger than that feeling, though, was the sheer uncanny nature of this reality I couldn't understand. A Keiichi Maibara who wasn't me was in Hinamizawa yesterday. I feel, now that I'm thinking back, I feel like I really didn't explain Keiichi's ideas right. I don't want to try. My brain's too small. I'm sorry, but if you just come from watching the other one, you probably understand what I was trying to say. As I threw away my humanity, turned into a demon, and was busy beating Satoko's uncle to death. I was having a great time at the festival last night. What the hell? I had to suffer through so much, desperately holding back tears, getting so worn out in that downpour, digging holes, chasing, beating, killing, dragging and burying. Who was this Keiichi Maibara who had ignored me so and spent such a fun, carefree time at the festival, damn it? Who the hell stood in for me as I put my life on the line, working so hard to achieve this treasure like everyday life? If there's another Keiichi Maibara besides me, then what was I? On the night of the Watanagashi, where one died and one disappeared in accordance with Oyasho-sama's curse, there's only a demon who had killed someone. Dumbfounded, as I succumbed to a horrifying possibility, I looked around at my classmates. To make sure there's nobody extra, I didn't recognize among them. To make sure I wasn't among them. It was a horrifying thought. That the real Keiichi Maibara hadn't overslept and had come to school on time. And that I, who was no longer Keiichi Maibara, had just waltzed in here. But no matter how much I checked, the only people here were ones I knew. And anyways, whether it's the first or second option, sorry, I keep going back because it's kind of crazy and it makes you really think, huh? There is something probably supernatural about it. I don't know how humans would enact either option. Maybe the first one's less supernatural because if somehow with the drugs they can like manipulate you. I hate it. I hate talking. Okay, we're just gonna continue on, and if I think of something better by the end or during a chapter break, I'll say it. It's too much. I need to think about it for the next stuff. I don't know, for the theory video, honestly. That man I met every time I looked in the bathroom mirror was not here. Where's Satoko? They still haven't showed her.
午後の授業を始めますよ。皆さん、席に戻ってください。
God, the windows are rattling so much.
委員長、号令。
The teacher entered and everyone hurried back to their seats. Upon finding me, who was stupidly late, she gave me a stern talking to, but I wasn't listening to it. Wasn't our old life supposed to start today? Something wasn't right. It was just strange. Last thing, that's kind of random. I feel like I've been really enjoying the OST, maybe a bit more in this one. And that could be because I did revert it to the originals. And there were bangers in the remade soundtrack, but I've been really feeling these ones, so yay for that. I was supposed to go back to my old fun life after yesterday. I had set foot in an incomparably mysterious world that was completely different from both my old life and my recent one. Yes, this was, without a doubt, a different world than the one I'd been living in until now. There's no way such an absurd thing could be possible. But unless it was true, I couldn't explain anything that just happened. In this classroom, I was surrounded by so many faces I knew, and yet I felt isolated. The cicadas sounded no different than they had before now, but they seemed somehow false. The air was parched and dry too, making me think, was the air in Hinamizawa always this uncomfortable?
Oi, Lena.
何かな？授業中なんだよ。
昨日の祭りだけどさ、俺いつ頃みんなと合流したっけ？
To be honest, I was pretty excited afterwards, and I gobbled down some cans of beer. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't quite remember some things. For random babbling, it wasn't a bad excuse.
ケイチ君、最初は来れないって言ってたんだよね。みーちゃんの家にそう電話したんでしょ？
That matched. I called Mian and told her to take Satoko in my place since I wouldn't be able to meet up with them due to the things I had to do.
さとこちゃんを誘ってあげようっていうのはみんなでお祭りの準備をしてた時に決めたんだよ。
So I feel like it's not quite them taunting, because like originally I thought they were about to go spooky mode on him and just like say a bunch of stuff that wouldn't make sense to Keiichi, but maybe they truly believe it, that he was there somehow, which is interesting.
少しでもおじさんの姿の見えないところに連れ出してあげようと思って。
That was the same too. Mian said that when I called her, that everyone had already decided to invite her.
それでみんなでレナとみーちゃんとリカちゃんでさとこちゃんの家に行ってさとこちゃんを連れ出して、さとこちゃんのおじさんすっごく意地悪そうな人だった。
That part didn't matter. What I was trying to ask was,
俺はいつ合流したんだ？
そんなことも忘れちゃってるの？ケイチ君、だから祭りの前の日はよく寝た方がいいよって言ったのに。
だから俺はいつ合流したんだよ。
now, don't get too aggressive. You'll blow her cover.
えっと
At my sudden threatening demand, Rena was at a loss for words. Oops, I shouldn't have rushed that. I told her I was sorry.
境内でだよ。ひょっこりとリカちゃんと話してたじゃない。うん。巫女さん姿のリカちゃんと楽しそうに話してた。それでレナも加わって「はうお持ち帰り」って。
リカちゃんと話してたのか。
ケイちゃん用事か何かがあったんじゃないって私が聞いたらさ、ケイちゃん胸を叩きながら自分で言ったじゃないのよ。用事なんかより祭りで大暴れする方が大切だぜって。
I didn't say that. I never said anything like that. I never even went to the shrine grounds yesterday to begin with. I never had the time to stop by a place like that. I went to dig the hole as soon as I woke up. I had a pretty hard time doing it. After that, I snuck into the stool and made a call. I called him out and lay in wait. And then it started raining really hard. With that kind of downpour, the festival should have come to a halt. Oh, what if it didn't rain in the festival, but... Oh, what if it's not that the... What? Oh, shit. How do I explain this? What if it didn't rain at the festival since it's, you know, the same instances like on Higurashi and Tatarigoroshi, but since he wasn't going to the festival like you should in a Higurashi game, it was raining, if that makes sense. That'd be kind of neat. In other words, it ended then. Or maybe it ended early. I don't know. Though it didn't sound like it ended early if it went through the whole dance, which was later at night, right? From the time the festival started to when it ended, it would have been impossible for me to have swung by the shrine grounds. Maybe that's just a shot in the dark. I don't know. That could be interesting. I was already there when Mion and the others dragged Satoko out and brought her to the shrine, and I was talking to Rita-chan. Then, where would Rita-chan say we met? Where's Satoko? Teichi said she was in the class, but you haven't seen her yet, which is making me nervous. The teacher went out to wash her hands, so I ran over to Rita-chan's desk and asked her directly.
ケイイチとですか？
ああ、リカちゃんはミオンたちが来る前から俺と話してたんだろ。いつ俺に会ったんだ？いつどこでだよ。
ケイイチが何を聞きたいのかわから。
俺昨日寝不足で半分頭がぼーっとなっててさ、何も覚えてないんだよ。
It looked like Rita-chan bought into my... It looked like Rita-chan... Tongue's a little dry there. Rita-chan bought into my babbling.
ケイイチと会ったのは集会所から村長さんたちと出てきた時なのです。
The mayor?
ケイイチは西宮殿の扉の前にいましたのですよ。
What?
え、何？
That's... What was that? Was that in the game? I don't know. I heard that was kind of a splat. Hopefully that was in the game.
西宮殿？
That's odd. I never heard of a building called that before. Or maybe I have, but at the very least I wouldn't know where on the shrine grounds it was.
村長さんがそこは神聖な場所だからみだりに近寄ってはならにゅうと怒りましたですよ。
Yeah, maybe Keiichi did somehow get out of the instance. Maybe this is how the arc is supposed to be playing out, but somehow Keiichi got out of his role and did the thing, but since it was going in that direction anyways, maybe it still happened like that. But it's some weird Twilight Zone shit. And I hate trying to explain it because I'm not good at it, but hopefully you have the idea what I was trying to say. About it played out the way it should have played out, but it wasn't really Keiichi there because Keiichi somehow got out of it. Which also means Takano died out of it. So maybe we will see Takano, even though she's supposed to be dead in the arc. Thinking.
圭一、それも忘れてしまいましたですか？
I was too scared to ask anymore. The more I asked, the more it became clear without any doubt that Keiichi Maibara was present at the Furude shrine grounds during the Watanadoshi festival. The clearer that became, the more doubts, no fears I had. Who on earth was I yesterday? Whoever that was, he had a good time in my place and managed to go the entire day without letting them notice I wasn't there. Alright, when did that person leave, everyone? This morning, my mother got mad at me for having stayed out so late last night. Which meant, at the very least, that Keiichi Maibara hadn't come home while my mother was still awake. The festival would have closed because of the downpour. Okay, maybe the rain thing was a little too far off. If I recall right, when I went back to the house... No, I'm still gonna keep that in my mind. It made sense to me anyways. When I went back to the house storage room to get another shovel, I think the clock said 7. Since it was already raining hard by then, the festival would have had to close down before 7. If I'd returned that early, I would have definitely run into my parents. Or, at the very least, they wouldn't have asked me when I got back last night. So, the Keiichi Maibara from yesterday, that meant he never went home. That meant the downpour happened, the festival was broken up, everyone left. But he didn't go back to the house. That means... When I arrived at the natural conclusion, a wicked chill suddenly froze my spine and climbed up to my brain. That meant Keiichi Maibara was the same as Satoshi. One day he never went home. The night of the Watanadoshi, he never went home. The downpour interrupted the festival, and on the way home, he suddenly disappeared. And I, who was dealing with the corpse, went home without a problem. I was so tired, I wasn't even hungry, so I went up to my room without a sound and crawled into my futon. Who was I? That much was obvious. Keiichi Maibara. Keiichi Maibara was me. There may have been another one, but that doesn't negate the fact that I was Keiichi Maibara. Then, that other Keiichi Maibara was what? What if Keiichi was supposed to die in this arc early, but he somehow avoided it by going to kill Teppei? Who would kill her? What if it was... Oh, that would have been crazy. You know what? No, this is too much. I want to say it though. What if Takano killed that Keiichi Maibara? Wait, no, that doesn't make... No, it kind of doesn't make sense. Never mind. I was about to do some big brain calculations, but I forgot they already identified that, or Keiichi already identified that it was a similar bite to Tomotaki's in the car. What if Keiichi... I was gonna say, what if Takano killed that Keiichi Maibara that was at the festival that was supposed to go home, and took his bite and he was in the trunk, and then she met with the outsider Keiichi Maibara? That would have been... That's too much. Oh no, I can see why this is confusing, huh? But I feel like I'm confusing myself more than this story. I mean, it's probably more likely that it was somehow Tomotaki. But that'd be interesting, huh? The voices of the cicadas, steadily filling the classroom, were beginning to bother me. Suddenly, I laid eyes on Satoko. Thank you. She's still dead inside, I see. Well, it would take a couple days, even if we kill the uncle, I'd imagine. Satoko's expression was dark as always. She seemed completely exhausted. Had a life of agony she couldn't even imagine an ending to. Well, Keiichi, just don't go up to Satoko and say, "Hey, I'm sure your uncle's never gonna show up again." Wink, wink. It's probably not a good idea. I don't think he will, but I feel like that's a possibility, right? What had last night been like for Satoko? Did she have fun with everyone and feel a little happier even for a moment? And when she went home, the end of her dream, she'd probably gone to sleep afraid of when her uncle would return. And then this morning, her uncle hadn't come home. And then she went to school. Right now, she must still be trapped by the rotten idea from which she couldn't be saved, that her uncle would need her when she got back. But you can rest easy, Satoko. Your uncle won't ever be coming back. I couldn't tell her it was because I'd kill him. Yeah, don't. When Satoko realized on her own that her uncle would never return, then that would truly be the end of the long, insane night. That's right. I didn't do anything wrong. I did the best possible thing I could the best possible thing I could have as Satoko's Nini. Not an atom of my body regretted it. And look, calm down and think, Keiichi Maibara. From a certain point of view, isn't it convenient that there's another Keiichi Maibara? It is super convenient, actually. That's great. I wasn't even thinking about it because it was so weird, but now he actually has an alibi for that night, so even if Uishi investigates him, which she will, and finds the shovel, which I think he will, because Keiichi left it there and totally forgot about it, the first shovel at the original dig site, then Keiichi can just say, Keiichi has a really solid alibi since everyone thinks he was at the festival, so that's actually great, huh? We're saved. I buried the corpse perfectly. A beginning wouldn't happen. But if worst came to worst, and if it got out and the investigation got to me, I now had a strong alibi, able to profess the fact that I had been at the Watanagashi festival. But accepting something so creepy and using it as an alibi. Still, if I proved that I hadn't gone to the festival yesterday, it would do no good and a whole lot of harm. That was what left the actually bad aftertaste. You'll forget about it, Keiichi Maibara. Everything that happened before today. So just forget about the Keiichi Maibara who was there yesterday too. Instead, let's watch gently over Satoko for the day her smile returns. And the day that would mark the end of that insane, all too long night.
So れでは今日はこれで終わりです。皆さん、寄り道をしないでちゃんとお家へ帰るんですよ。院長、号令。起立。
Oops, sorry, Mion. Didn't mean to cut you off. Goodbye. I thought about many things and saw my thoughts dispersed by many other things. I didn't know whether or not that time would be spent worrying or daydreaming, but either way, it came to an end along with the class. Cheerfully, our classmates got their things and ran for the hallway. Mion, Rena, and Rita-chan were packing up as well. What about Satoko? This whole day, she seemed deflated. Well, her uncle may not have returned last night, but she wouldn't have known he'd never return. How much I wanted to express that fact to her. Don't do it. Satoko packed up her pencil box and math work messily, and after a dark glance at the clock, heaved a sigh. Then went to leave the classroom. Then, suddenly, somebody placed a hand on her shoulder and stopped her.
何ですの？私、ちゃんと水やり当番もやりましたし、プリントだってちゃんと。
Her words, possessed by a persecution complex, hurt. I spoke loudly so everyone could hear. Wait, Keiichi did it? Oh, well, somebody did.
なあみんな、さ、今日は久しぶりにやらないか？部活。
Yo, power plays. I like how he said somebody because he's unsure if he's himself right now, I guess. Satoto always had to tend to her uncle, so club has been on hiatus. In our minds, our club was a proof of a calm, peaceful life. By enjoying being together, I wanted to make Satoto realize her days of darkness were over.
レナはいいよ。
Aw,
み
thank you, Rita.
そりゃ
It's a nice
まあ
meep.
私は構わないけど聡子がいいならね。
Under a condition, that was important. With everything up to her, Satoto gave a worried look.
なあ、サトコ。久々にどうだよ。パーッとさ。
Crazy.
そのお気持ちは嬉しいでございますけど。
It's a very sad smile. My uncle might already be home. Thus spoke her darkened eyes, her mouth unmoving.
サトコもさ、連日息が詰まるような生活をずっと続けててさ。そんなのは心にも体にも悪いだけだぜ。やっぱりたまにはパーッと弾けなきゃな。
I said it before about Keiichi screaming, but Keiichi does have this sort of, you know, when either he's angry or he's trying to like convince you of something, it always sounds nice to the ears, to me at least. Like I'm already feeling like I wanna join in.
放っておいてくださいまし。私だってそりゃ部活がまたやれたらと思っていますわよ。
With one word, but she looked
み
down.
んなで遊んだ方が楽しいのはサトコだってよく知ってるだろ。
Keiichi, you're really pushing this though. I feel like she might burst out at you.
俺たちは仲間だぜ。みんなで一緒に過ごすようにできてるんだよ。
She's being a little forceful too.
サトコだって昨日みんなでお祭りで騒いで楽しかったろ。
Rena nearly said something, but she was too late.
ケイチさん、何を言ってますの？
My arm on her shoulder seemed to weigh her down, and she threw it off.
私がお祭りで楽しく、いつ遊んだって言うんですの？楽しく遊んだのはケイチさんだけじゃありませんの。
I looked over to Mion for help, but now everyone was looking down. My instincts told me that Satoto hadn't gone to the festival. What? No, but that's really weird. Then why would the uncle leave for the police station if Satoto wasn't out of the house? But Rena said it herself, that she went with Mion to Satoto's house to invite her.
さとこちゃん、途中で帰っちゃったの。神社には行かなかった。
Did Keiichi like get the perfect timing where Satoto was still out? Or is something weird? Yikes. Let that marinate for a bit.
どうして？
I realized the absurdity of what I just said with Satoto in front of me.
おじが家で待ってるのに一人だけ遊んでると悪いって言って神社の直前で。
私たちも引き止めたんだよ。今日はおじさん公認だからちゃんと遊んでも怒られないんだよって。
At some point, tears had begun welling up in Satoto's eyes. Satoto was so afraid of her uncle that she couldn't even allow herself time with her friends and went home. No, she was even afraid of letting herself have a good time with her friends.
ケイチさんはいいですわね。みんなで楽しくお祭り一夜を過ごせて。聞けば大層盛り上がって大活躍だったそうじゃないですの。お羨ましいことですわ。
Yikes. Smiling to herself, tears began to well.
私には養わなければならない叔父がいますの。ケイチさんみたいにご両親にのんびり養ってもらってる人とはわけが違いますですのよ。
サトコ。
楽しくお祭りが過ごせてよかったですわね。
Well, I mean, this is an expected reaction if she didn't actually go to the festival. Which isn't exactly Teichi's fault, obviously. He wouldn't know, but it is pretty awkward if you're just a random bystander watching.
私の分まで楽しく過ごせて本当におよろしかったですこと。私だって部活がしたいですわ。みんなで楽しく大騒ぎして楽しくて楽しくて。でも今の私そんなの
Unable to withstand such violent emotion, a few teardrops slid down her cheek. But even though she was having such a terrible time, not once did she ever say that it was hard for her. It was sad. It was a sad, obstinate bravery. But the days when Satoto had to feel like that were over. Satoto didn't need to endure it, to bear it anymore. She could forget all about it now, and smile. I was so frustrated at not being able to tell her that directly. Instead, I said something that I'm not sure I should have said before I thought about it twice. Keiichi, you do this too much. What are you gonna say?
帰ってこないんだろ。
It's man. Keiichi, you always have this problem.
あいつは
The words were deeply meaningful to me, but I didn't know if Satoto understood them.
帰ってこないって誰がですの？
ゆうべは帰らなかったんだろ。お前のお家は。
何を言ってますの、圭一さんは。
Satoto shouted with all her might.
あいつがいついなくなったって言うんですの？いつ？
落ち着けよ。
Damn. Is he not dead in this instance? Oh my god.
だって昨
My.
日あいつは帰ってこなかったろ。
圭一さんが何を言ってるのか全然わかりませんでしたよ。
Alright, let's do it. Teichi just said you killed him. Alright, I'm too confused. We need some answers. Just shout you killed him. It doesn't matter. Help me out
佐藤
here.
のこと何を言ってんだよ。だってあの男は。
Say it. I killed him. Killed him yesterday. Killed him for sure. And I buried him. Buried him whole. He could never have returned to his house.
昨日だって私にいっぱい意地悪して
Yikes.
わめいて
This is gonna be stuck in my head for a while today, huh?
当たり散らして作ったご飯を投げられた。お味噌汁もひっくり返された。
I feel like the line dump a bowl of miso soup has been used like 3 times throughout, maybe once in every arc.
暑かった汚かった。そしてお掃除も私がした。私がああ
What? Our stories weren't matching up.
あいついる。
今朝だって朝ごはんの時起こせって言われたから起こしたのに怒られた。起こさなかったらまた怒るように起こしても怒られた。
佐藤子。
Rita-chan went over to Satoto and said a few words of consolation. But Satoto angrily refused those words and thrust Rita-chan away.
いいね早く帰ってきてよ。
Crying, Satoto slowly walked out into the hallway. After a moment, Rita-chan went after her. I couldn't stop thinking about the words Satoto had spoken while crying. I buried her uncle last night, but she said this morning that was impossible. And we know in the hint, her uncle did leave the house because Uishi said with his police patrol that he did physically leave the house on his scooter. But this Satoto is claiming that he never left the house, or at least he returned. I buried him last night, so she couldn't have seen her uncle this morning. What was Satoto? At that point, I heard Mion's cold voice.
ねえケイちゃん、聡子のおじさんが帰ってこないって何？
Gulp. I said too much. I let my emotions get the better of me.
レナも聞いたよ。さとこちゃんのおじさんが帰ってこないって言った。
どうして？なんで帰ってこないの？
おかしいよね。だって今朝もちゃんとさとこちゃんのおじさんはいるんだよ。なのになんで帰ってこないなんて言うのかな。
ケイちゃん、言ってることがさっきから変。
Suddenly, Mion and Rena started to speak in a strange and creepy voices. I was about to say my first thing was off about them going on the Takushi creepy after that whole thing with Satoto, but guess I won't say it now. What were they doing? What were they saying?
ケイちゃんは聡子のおじさんがいると何か都合が悪いことでもあるわけ？
お前らこそ何を言ってるんだ。聡子のおじなんかいない方がいいに決まってるだろうが。
それはもちろんいない方がいいよね。
Something wasn't right. The next thing I knew, Mian and Rena were smiling thinly, and their eyes were dark and muddy in a way that I've never seen before. And as our eyes met, that mud even seemed to fill the air.
聡子のおじは確かに嫌なやつだよね。私もいなくなった方がいいやつだと思うよ。でもさ、いるわけだし、仕方ないじゃない。
Nothing we can do. Something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong here. What the hell was happening? After a moment, a chilly, liquid-like feeling, as though my blood had been mixed with sherbet, crawled up my spine.
仕方ないって、そりゃ仕方ないけど、でもそれじゃ聡子が。
仕方がなければどうするのかな。
Rena was trying to prompt me to say more. There really was no choice, so I killed him. I killed him to protect Satoto.
それは
Say it, Keiichi. I mean, you won't, and it's probably a good idea not to, but it'll help. It'll help with
放って
theorizing.
おきなよ。そのうち解決しちゃうと思うしさ。
さとこちゃんがおじさんがいるって言ってるんだからいる。ちゃんと昨日もいたし今朝もいる。そうならそうでいいんじゃないかな。
Kana. Mian and Rena were speaking unbelievably dismissively. How could they be talking like that? Mian and Rena, they were my friends and were seriously worried about Satoto's abuse, weren't they? They would never blurt out something like this. And I definitely killed Satoto's uncle. No matter what Satoto or anyone else says, I wouldn't acknowledge it. Because him being alive was impossible. There's no way he was alive. It was impossible. And yet, since Satoto herself said he was here, then he was alive? I didn't know why or how, but suddenly Mian and Rena were at my side, standing there silently. CG?
帰ろうよ、ケイちゃん。
帰ったらね、今日は久しぶりにレナ宝探しに行くつもりなんだ。みーちゃんも来るんだよ。
Can we not follow them to the garbage dump?
ケイちゃんも一緒に行こ
Keiichi, let's not do that, please.
もちろん拒否権はないからね。
If words could freeze blood, then there's no doubt that they would have frozen me solid. I could hear it, a layer of thin ice, the sound of all my muscles tensing. And with them closely at my sides, we left the stool as if the police officers were taking me away. Think I'm gonna end it here. I feel like we're gonna get some spooky stuff at the garbage dump, or maybe Keiichi will make a break for it. Obviously, my thoughts are jumbled. I don't exactly know what's going on, obviously. I don't think anyone probably would during their reading of this. Maybe I can expand it in the first episode, or the introduction of the next session. I think it is really important for Keiichi to meet Oishi. Even though that was, again, mimicking Onotakashi. But I feel like having Oishi's perspective into this, to see if his perspective matches with Keiichi's, since he's an outsider. Yeah, let's give this some time to marinate, and maybe I'll have at least... I probably wouldn't figure it out by then. Hopefully I'll figure out something by the theory video. But at least by the next session I might have a better idea of what I think about this. But hopefully you enjoyed. Very creepy episode. Yeah, I'll see you next time.